anything you could think of. If you could actually think of it, it means you can do it, right? Does that make sense? So if it pops up in your brain, it means that you have the ability to do it. Why? Because the brain would never think of something that it could not do.
Hello, my name is Taylor Hilliard. I'll be interviewing you.
Nice to meet you. My name is David Williams Jr.
So tell me about yourself, Mr. David Williams.
Okay, thank you. First, I am from Bennettsville, South Carolina. I am a 5th grade math and science teacher at Brookdale Elementary School. I'm currently a doctorate student at Liberty University in curriculum and instruction, and I am a proud 2-time graduate of South Carolina State University.
If there was one thing you could change about yourself, what would it be and why?
One thing I would change about myself is the part of me that I tend to overthink a lot. Sometimes I like to always think of what the negative may be instead of just thinking of all the positives. So that's one thing I could do, is making sure I don't overthink, and that will control my self-doubt when it comes to working with different things.
If you were asked to describe yourself in 3 words, what would it be and why?
3 words that I think would describe me. First would be caring. One reason why I say caring is because I feel, especially being an educator, that I have that nurturing spirit because I do care for my kids as if they were my own. The second word I'll describe myself with is being dedicated. I'm very dedicated to ensuring that I make a difference in our scholars and our students' lives, whether making a difference in their selves, telling them how to make a difference in their families, their community, their country, and their world. And the last word I would say is just being humble. One thing I've learned is that some of our kids, we tend to not have that motivated person to want to motivate them, as I want to motivate you with this interview. But at the same time, that makes sure that you're staying humble, because you're going to be going places. Only be in 3rd grade and be able to do an interview, I couldn't say I could do that at your age. So those 3 words, I think, was something that I want to instill in all of our students.
What is Why Not Young Lives, and how did you come up with this great idea?
Why Not Young Lives is a nonprofit that I started in July 2020 during COVID. And the purpose of Why Not Young Lives is to make a difference through education, community service, mentoring, and mental health awareness. We want to let our scholars know in the community that they can and they will achieve their dreams. And we have a free 6-week literacy program that we do every summer. On top of a bunch of different things, we have canned food drives. We do back to school dances. We do father and daughter dances. We also have a Finding Your Why scholarship, where we give out 2 scholarships to rising seniors in high school to ensure that they are prepared to go to college. Also, we also have started doing a giveaway where we give care packages to students that are already in college. Also, we give out TVs, we give out school supplies, just to name a few. But Why Not Young Lives is a community-based nonprofit. So if you would like to join Why Not Young Lives, it's very simple. All you have to do is head over to Google or into your nearest search browser and type in www.whynotyounglives.com. On our website, we have a plethora of different items that we think will help our community members. And also, if you'd like to join, we have a sign-up form for you as well.
If you had a chance to go back in time, what advice would you give young David?
It's a great question. One thing I definitely would tell young David is to always keep your goals first. When it comes to achieving your goals, you have to set a plan. And I know you already have a plan of what you want to do as well. You've already started your own business. And when it comes to setting those goals, you have little sub-goals and you have long-term goals. So my short-term goals would have been to make sure I stay in school, I keep my grades up, I stay making good decisions, and I ensure that I make a difference as much as I can in my community. Because even though I was at a younger age, I really had people that looked up to me that were only 2 or 3 years younger than me. And that's when I realized then what my goal was and what I found my why in, which is to be an educator and to make a difference and give back to the community.
What advice would you give me, a young black male growing up in the world today, and why?
So one thing I like to tell you, Taylor, is to make sure that you never give up on your dreams. I know we come from a stereotypical world where they say as a young black male you can't achieve anything. You may not graduate college. You may not even graduate high school. They expect you to be behind the jail cell. But that's not true. You can make a difference. You can achieve your dreams. Keep your head up. Stay positive. Don't listen to what the outsiders have to say. and I'm telling you, you will achieve anything you put your mind to.
What is one long-term goal that you would love to achieve before reaching retirement age?
One long-term goal I would like to achieve is to make Why Not statewide, hopefully nationwide, and that starts with in the community. So I said earlier, by making a difference in myself, now I want to make a difference in my community and bridging Why Not into the community. After the community, hopefully take it statewide and then also worldwide. And as I'm achieving that goal of bridging out Why Not Young Lives, I also want to finish my doctorate degree and become a doctor. So instead of Mr. Williams, I'll be called Dr. Williams. Even though I'm not a medical doctor, I'll be an educational doctor. So those are some of the goals that I would like to achieve before retirement.
In school, what was your favorite subject? Why?
My favorite subject in school is math. I love math. And I'm going to tell you a quick story why. When I was in 3rd grade, my teacher, during Easter time, she used to always give out jelly beans. Every time you got a timetable right, you would get a jelly bean. And I love candy, Taylor. I love junk food. I love candy. So being able to be that first person to be like, oh, I know the answer. Pick me, pick me, pick me. I started to gain the knowledge of math. I learned all my timetables. And then from years on, I always look forward to getting my answers correct and actually studying to learn math, whether it was multiplication, whether it was orders of operations, whether it was shapes, whether it was division. All those type of things were things that I look forward to doing. I just love numbers. And also money. You know, you gotta know how to count money. So I love math for those things.
Did you attend college? If so, what college did you attend and how was your experience?
So in undergrad, I went to the South Carolina State University, home of the Bulldogs. And my experience at South Carolina State was one for the ages. Being at an HBCU was like being with your family. I'm an only child, so being able to be around like-minded individuals was something that I would never take for granted. I met some of my lifelong friends at school. I was able to get exposure, was able to do different extracurricular activities on campus. I also joined one of the greatest fraternities, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I did it my sophomore year. I was 19 years old, but I was able to still stay on top of my grades as well. Because in order to join those wonderful organizations, you have to be a student leader. And student comes before anything. So I had to make sure I kept my grades up, as well as make sure I did my community service, as well as make sure I kept that time management.
What's the biggest inspiration when you were growing up?
Okay. My big inspiration was my dad. So I'm David Williams Jr. and he's David Williams Sr. So I was blessed enough to bear my dad's name. So one thing I've learned from my dad, because he was in the Army during that time when I was growing up, is just how he was able to care for his family and still make a difference in his community.
What made you want to be a teacher?
One of the reasons I wanted to be a teacher, just going back to that question about my dad, is how much he made a sacrifice to ensure that the youth in the community were able to have certain things and to be able to do certain things. So growing up, I always wondered, what could I do to give back? What could I do to make an impact? And as I was doing one of my internships in high school, I had a child that was probably about 5 years younger than me that said, I look up to you as a role model. I'm like 14, 15. I don't know how I could be considered a role model, but it's more so what you do and how you do it and how people can look up to you. So making me have those things happen, I ensure that, okay, maybe I do want to be a teacher. And as I started to take the teaching classes in high school, I was like, yeah, this is for me. I like to have fun. I think I'm able to adapt and to relate to my kids as well. So we do different things in the classroom. You may have seen the videos that we made, little TikToks, the rap math songs that we have made, but all that is giving them that exposure to wanting to learn. Every student learns in a different way. Every student learns a different method. So I want to ensure that I do expose them to these different learning styles so that I can make sure I can reach all of my children in the classroom.
What made you want to be a coach for basketball?
See that form? See that form of that shot? But one of my reasons I love basketball, I'm a basketball head. I watch basketball every single day. Whether I'm watching it at a high school game or a middle school game or the city league game or even our own school district elementary school game, or I'm watching it on TV. I love basketball, but basketball teaches you more than about just how to put the ball in the hoop. It teaches you about yourself and how to be a young man and to stay out of trouble and to be a student athlete. And one of my goals with being a coach is to ensure that our kids know what it truly means to be a student athlete. And I always ask them what comes first. And they always say student. So in order to be that athlete, you have to be that student first. You can have the skills on the court, but if you don't have the grades and the behavior in the classroom, you still will not be able to play. So being able to ensure and to instill in them daily what it means to be a student athlete, it makes me have the love for coaching even more, because I know that we are making an impact in our kids. Even if we don't win a game in basketball, but they win in the game of life, which is the main important part.
Cause if I told you I got you, yeah. And if the world came falling down, baby, I fall too. If I was in the jam at the gas, cause you know I'm coming, yeah.